Wise Child by Monica Furlong, Chapter 7, The Attic. I woke up the next morning knowing that something extraordinary had happened, and saw Juniper sitting, smiling, in a chair beside the bed. "Well," she said. "Well," I said. "I should stay in bed a bit if I were you. You may feel a bit dizzy if you try to get up." "I'm hungry." "Good. You shall have your breakfast right away." "Where's Eunie?" "Oh, she's gone." "That was a short visit." "She did what she came to do." It was only after I had eaten my breakfast gruel and had slept a bit more that I dared to ask Juniper, "What happened?" "You tell me," she said. "Then I will tell you what I know." It seemed to me that the roof was rolled back and that I flew. Only when I came to myself downstairs, I wondered if I had just dreamed it and it hadn't really happened at all. "Never mind about that now," she said. "What happened when you flew?" "I flew like anything. It was a lovely feeling. I managed to sit on the broom, with Pearl sitting on the handle in front of me, and we flew first all over the meadow, and Cormac's house, then back here again. The roof was on again by now. And over the village and the sea and the mainland. Then we came to mountain peaks and forests, and what I think was the great glen, then over the sea again." Juniper was listening with great concentration. "Yes?" "The broomstick came down on an island. It was at the foot of an avenue of enormous stones. Everything was, oh, so beautiful. Partly it made me feel very little, but partly it made me feel, you know, sort of part of it all. I passed through one stone circle, then another, with Pearl walking in front of me, and then I came to a tiny circle with an altar in the middle of it. Then I asked the altar what it wanted of me 3 times. I walked around it widdershins. There was no answer, and then the broomstick came rushing up the avenue to fetch me, and I came away." Juniper had looked very thoughtful through this long recital. "So what does it mean?" I asked her, propped up on my elbow in bed. Even that slight movement made my head buzz in a funny way, so I soon lay down again. "It was a way of seeing if you are one of us." "One of you and Eunie? You mean a witch?" "That's just a vulgar word for it that can mean all kinds of things. The word we use is Doran." Juniper went on to explain that the word Doran came from our Gaelic word Doris, an entrance or a way in. The English have a word very like it. It was someone who had found a way in to seeing or perceiving. "Seeing or perceiving what?" Juniper hesitated. "The energy," she said at last, "the pattern." I did not know what she meant, but I knew what interested me. "Am I a Doran, then?" I asked breathlessly. "You could be," she said. "You may be one day if various things work out that way." "So what does a Doran do, then?" "Some of us do healing things like me and my herbs. Some of us sing or write poetry or make beautiful things. Some of us don't do anything at all. They often stay in one place and they just know." "Know? Know what?" "How things are," Juniper said mysteriously. "I didn't like it much last night," I said, changing the subject. "To start with, that is. I hated all that stuff with the ointment, and you wouldn't let me have any supper, and Eunie was all cross and bossy." "It was the only way to do it, wise child. I couldn't explain any of it to you in advance. Otherwise, you would be expecting things instead of finding them out for yourself. And you know how I hate that. And you had to do it fasting, or you would have felt much iller than you did. All the same, she grinned, I nearly lost my nerve, and if Uni hadn't been here, I probably would have. That's why she came. I'm glad she did then. The frightening bit was that I thought you had turned against me. Yes, that was the hardest thing for me too. I was thoughtful for a while. Did Uni ever give you a test like that? Of course. We were in Brittany at the time. I flew farther than you. I flew all the way here. That is how I knew that one day this would be where I would live and work. And Uni too went through that test when she was a little girl in Cornwall. Every Doran has gone through it. But it might not have worked? No, you might have just sat there getting crosser and crosser and hating me more and more. But you thought I would fly. Yes, I had that sort of feeling about you. A feeling that the cards confirmed, by the way, the first time I ever saw you, just as Uni had the feeling the first time she ever saw me, playing in the sea in Cornwall. But you need to be quite sure, you see. Flying